Of it, like it's just a lot of running at you. Ooh, Pangu Soul.
Pangu Soul's getting jumped on right there. That's gonna be a lot of damage coming out, as unfortunately Twisted Fate is just gonna get fed right to the fishies, eaten by that shark. Built like Mewtwo getting brought very, very low. The horn call did come out. Unfortunately, they're gonna get smited away. From the heavens, we see Utility Monster bring down the damage. War Leader manages to get over the wall.
Less and less of a factor. You have a Fed Fizz. And now you have a champ bot.
Point blank, Ash Arrow catches Steph right in the face. We see Utility Monster flashing in, smacking the two together. Escape and Tifa both getting taken down. And unfortunately, there is literally nothing.
Soul this time. And
the Arrow manages to find the Twisted Fate. Then they're going to get knocked up, and that is going to be the Arctic chilled ground. That means there's nowhere for them to go. The Monsoon to push Pangu into the jungle so he can't get to the safety of the turret. Tells me that they're going to pick up yet another kill. Utility Monster coming in once again. And we see Ash coming in just absolutely shredding with the crystal arrows, and that prelude to Ragnarok. So we might actually see the game ending around the time that gets finished. Look at this. We see Fizz getting jumped on by Tefra. That is going to be a 3v1. We do see him going golden, trying to stay alive. He's going to jump out, and the crystal arrow is going to come in. It's going to miss them, and that means that we do see Civilux surviving though, what they absolutely should be. We see Zach jumping in on the backline, and the damage in YUBI is just so much. They have got so much in the bank from that Universal Basic Income. They're using the Hex Stakes to try.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Friend or Foe Semifinals with RLS versus YUBI. I'm Spencer Ultravox Cameraman, joined by Zane Zen Nelson, and we're going to be taking over this cast for the rest of the series. Zen, how you feeling today?
I am feeling incredible. I get to watch some of my best friends in the world play with their tournament lives on the line. And I just cannot wait to see how both teams are adapting going into Game 3 of this Best of 5.
Wow, we got a really fast draft going off here. Nocturne immediately locked in for RLS. That's been a hotly contested pick for Utility Monster as well. And Senna Vigar as the response, so tremendous amount of disengage from YUBI.
Yeah, and actually, I really like what both teams are doing here. So a couple of adaptations to talk about. Number one, RLS banning away the Zac. Utility Monster completely undefeated on the regular season in that champion, so taking that out of the pool as a possibility for Engage. YUBI mixing things up a little bit with their new support coming in, Freelancer 216, coming into the playoff season, formerly Season 4 top laner, now going back to support. Most played champion in the olden days was that Veigar, and that Veigar can be flexed to Civilox mid lane. So I really like this choice to show it early and give YUBI that flexibility, but they're going to respond rapidly and right away with Thresh and Ashe for the bottom side of RLS.
Yeah, I'm liking that. You get a lot of CC there, a lot of lockdown. YUBI is going to pick up the Volibear, a favorite of Utility Monster. So honestly, it's a scary looking team coming in from YUBI. It seems like you're going to be able to receive the Nocturne engages extremely well. And it's just going to be very difficult for RLS to try to find something. They're going to be relying on Ash Arrow as their primary engage, and even that gets covered by Senna Shroud in the baby cage as well.
Yeah, I do want to give credit to RLS for recognizing that one of the issues they were having in Game 2 was their lack of like decisive engage tools. You had the Twisted Fate ultimate that was landing a gold card every now and then, but without any follow-up to that, it was very difficult for them to play those later stage fights. And so here they've gone ahead and adapted and paired Nocturne with the Ash so that you can have the Ash Arrow landing into the darkness from Nocturne. But again, as you say, Ultravox, this Vigart pick, I think, is going to be really critical to YUBI's strategy because dropping that cage down completely shuts down Nocturne. So I'm interested to see, moving into the second half of the draft, what RLS wants to pick up to either overcompensate and like build even more dive, or perhaps pivot a little bit to something that gives them a little bit more team fighting power.
Yeah, definitely agree. And we've got YUBI with the R4 Galio, so even more in terms of just making sure you shut down the engages. You know, if anybody gets Nocturned on, you know, oh, but I guess they want a vision, right, for the global Galio ultimate. So that's actually kind of interesting to me that they would want to go with that there. So they're going to have to be proactive with the Galio to try to make things work with that, or else they could just get shut down.
Man, and RLS doubling down on these globals. They say, you know, that last game, a bit of a fluke. The Twisted Fate didn't have the game that it wanted to have into Civilox Fizz, but this game they're feeling more comfortable with it, and we'll have to see how it goes. I think that the interactions between this team is very interesting because YUBI has drafted an incredibly powerful disengage composition. You know, trying to dive onto one specific member that's going to have a Galio ultimate slamming on top of them is going to be very, very difficult for RLS. However, YUBI doesn't really have that many proactive tools, and as I say that, they correct that problem. Red gonna take the Ornn.
Yeah, but that's so interesting. They opted into the Ornn versus Mordekaiser matchup, something we've seen as a traditional counterpick, the Mord into the Ornn side in LCS finals. I'm a big fan of it because you can just yoink Ornn away from being able to smash the Ram and the enemy team. And I'm very, very interested to see if Red is going to come out on top here, if he's going to manage to overcome the kind of self-counter pick here.
Yeah, honestly, after seeing these last couple draft picks locked in, my eyes are drawn immediately to Kieri Alexion. Coming in a high-pressure situation, Game 3, third different top laner for RLS in this series, and has a lot riding on her shoulders on this Mordekaiser. That said, I think Mordekaiser is fantastic against this draft. As you said, has a very good interaction into Ornn, can also side lane very effectively against both the Galio and the Ornn. And, you know, they have War Leader as well, providing that global, semi-global ultimate. So really, I think RLS can pivot to a different style that we maybe haven't seen this series, where they send off people into the side lanes and then dare YUBI to come and match them.
Yeah, it is very interesting. They have the tools to respond to the matching as well. We'll have to see how this progresses, but we are onto the Rift here, and the level 1 has been pretty uneventful. RLS escape had a little bit of an encounter with Freelancer. Freelancer also running the cleanse, something important to note. So a little bit of anti-Ash precautions for them.
Yeah, and I appreciate, you know, Freelancer learning his lesson from game number 1, where we saw him get, you know, taken over again and again by the hard crowd control from the side of RLS. So I like that adaptation. Looks like both junglers going to be starting on the bottom side, which is interesting to note. I'm curious where Utility Monster is going to spend his early time. He could look to get early prio and maybe fight War Leader, because Nocturne not a particularly powerful jungler at that first Scuttle Crab, but he may also look to just try and shut down this Mordekaiser. And I think that the onus is on him to get something done to justify this Volibear pick.
Yeah, you know, if I'm Utility Monster here, I'm looking at that TF in the mid lane, and I'm thinking, he's a sitting duck, you know. I want to flash on that guy. I want to combo in with my Galio, level 2, level 3, and just claw his face off while he's weak before he can really have an impact, and try to capitalize on just TF's immobility in the early game. And that's something that I really wanted to see also in the last game when Utility Monster was playing Zac. Few unsuccessful ganks there, didn't result in much though, but maybe you can do a better job this game.
Light bit of trading here. It looks like Kieri gonna have the early push in this lane. Would like to get that fully shoved in and bounced back to perhaps prevent a utility monster gank. And you already see that committing spells to the wave immediately. We love to see it, knowing that they need to get that wave in order to be safe. And not a whole lot gonna happen here in the early stages in this top lane. I can't imagine. It doesn't really become an issue for Ornn until you start to either get manaless champed, where you just like run out of mana against champions that, or once Kieri starts to build up those items, starts to get towards that Rift Maker, is when you really start to see the damage start to amp. Huge stun.
Look at the cage here. Escape taking some damage, gonna get rooted out as well. Has to move backwards, and it's a nice trade for the side of YUBI, excuse me. As Jeff God Gamer gets a few more souls there, going to be collecting the money with his Spectral Sickle too. It's exactly what you want to see. You are relatively the weaker lane. You have short trades with Senna Vigar, but you're still not very strong in the early game.
Yeah, and I don't envy Tef's draw, but we see Kieri hasn't actually managed to get this wave fully shoved in, so might be open to a gank from Utility Monster walking in right now.
Yeah,
just gonna face check and looks like
look at the stun in onto Escape. He will drop very low, has to heal, desperately tries to get away, but it's the last limp little auto attack from Vigar that will finish him off. Tefra now all alone there, has to retreat under the turret. And it looks like we're not done yet. Utility Monster now under fire as Kieri and War Leader jump onto him.
There.
Pengusol, he's got the gold card, stuns him up, collects 300 gold, and back to mid for him. Kills traded on both sides of the map.
Yeah, and great job from RLS finding that Volibear in the river, but back to my point in the bottom lane, I do not envy Tefra's job in this bot side, because Freelancer and Jeff God are extremely proficient at the two characters that they're playing, and it's very difficult for Thresh to land a hook between the long range of the Senna and just getting completely stuffed by the cage from Vigar. And as we saw, already starting to lose some pressure in that bottom side, RLS is going to need to bolster that when they hit 6 and maybe try to, make more aggressive plays there. But for now, they're definitely on the defensive foot in the bottom lane.
100%, yeah. You just get stuffed, like you said, as the Thresh. You can't walk up to play. Really, really hard to play the game, so going to be relying on War Leader a little bit later, or possibly a good Ashe Arrow to help clean that up. But first dragon is spawning. We'll see if the teams want to try to go for this. We got both junglers on the bot side, so maybe we could see some action around here.
Yeah, and keep your eyes on the mid lane, as both mid laners pretty soon about to hit level 6, either on this wave or the following, so we might see some action here. You already see Tefra going ahead for the early recall, trying to get some extra wards down. War Leader's down here, and already fighting for vision of that Scuttle Crab, so both teams acutely aware of this dragon stacking potential.
Yeah, critically will get the Scuttle Crab Utility Monster, and he's going to be very happy with that. Now crossing over to the top. Another stun onto Escape, though, and this is just going to be disastrous. Freelancer picks up another kill. Escape will continue to get punished for mispositioning.
Yeah, and Escape, unlike previous games, does not have the cleanse against a team that's got point and click stun from Utility Monster, a root from Jeff God, and the cage. So really getting punished there. And without that flash, look at this massive minion wave that they're going to lose. This is going to be at least a 10, if not a 15 or 20 CS difference at only 6 minutes in.
Yeah, it's just, you see that as an AD carry player, and you're just like, oh my god, that's so awful. It's one of the worst feelings in the world, but Escape has got to do his best to stay in the game. See how they decide to recover from this. Hook will not land from Tefra. And another cage just surrounds them both. Escape going to get chunked out again, and the auto attacks continue. Some CC on the Jeff God Gamer won't really do too much. And in the top lane, once again, Utility Monster and Red going in onto Kieri. There's the Ornn Horn. HP bars are dropping low. The Indestructible comes in. Kieri stays alive, though, and Red will get taken down next. It's a double kill for War Leader, cleaning that one up.
I cannot believe they win that. They're down experience. Kieri Alexion does not have access to the Mordekaiser ultimate at the start of that play, but that champion is so powerful with the fully stacked Conqueror that they're able to power through it. This accelerates War Leader as well. Massive, massive W for the top half of RLS.
100%. Could not agree more. That was the best possible outcome for RLS right there. And now you have an ahead Mordekaiser versus the Ornn. You've got Nocturne with a few kills. He's going to be blowing people up as soon as he gets some more presence on the map with his ultimate. This could start to get very scary for YUBI.
Yeah. And it's interesting because going into this game, I was looking at this bottom lane. I was expecting Escape, really one of the most consistent players on RLS, and current captain of the team, to be the kind of person who is taking those proactive plays and making those powerful moves around the map with the Ashe ultimate, but not the case as we see a gank in mid.
Yeah, look at the darkness coming out. Will not really result in too much, though. And Kiri is going to activate the Death Realm after getting traded on pretty hard. Red dodges the Mace Swing. And we'll start to walk Kiri down. Misses the charge on to the spike, but does get the brittle proc. Some more damage coming out. Tephra, it will be an unstoppable through the utility monster coming straight in. Galio into the middle of everybody, and it's the Dawning Shadow that tears through everybody. RLS is on the back foot now. They've got to start to get out of here. Escape dropped very low. Freelancer tries to kill him with the W, but will not be able to get it. Finally collects him, stacks him up with the Vygar Q. Tephra, all by his lonesome, once again, cannot do too much.
Yeah, and Utility Monster showing the power of the Volibear there. This is why you pick the champion. Level 6, level 5, these areas where he can slam down his ultimate and just become a massive, stat stick and just completely smash the team fight. Really decisive play from YUBI to call RLS's bluff, say, no, actually, we can get there in time. We have the ultimate from Galio. It's going to crash down and prevent any hope of escape. And just like that, YUBI turns the tables 3-5 in their favor.
Prevents any hope of escape, indeed. Escape 0-3 now. Not looking too hot, and that really does suck. But maybe RLS can start bringing this one back. I feel like the Nocturne ultimate was a little bit wasted there, and like you said, good job from YUBI capitalizing on that. So, want to see War Leader, find some kills with that, make some tempo on the map, and try to, really utilize the full power of just the 2 kills he's been given from the top side.
Yeah, and I mean, he is in the position to do so, right? Nocturne, one of those characters that War Leader is reasonably comfortable with, has played it, both in the regular season, in this season, as well as in the previous one. And he does have lanes that can support it, right? Nocturne frequently would love to have, he just wants any amount of crowd control in the lane, right? As long as I can just get onto somebody and land the fear, connect the fear, one might say, he's going to be perfectly happy. And speaking of connecting, if you want to connect to FF, boy, do I have a deal for you, but not until after Kiri dodges this.
Yeah, Kiri dropping real low. Oh, one more auto tech does not do it. Red flashing into the turret will finish that one off, though. We got a Nocturne flying in the mid lane, though. Gets a nice revenge kill. Now trying to auto attack battle with the Utility Monster, the Volibear. It's so close here. Utility Monster flashes away, but it's a flash brawler from War Leader to shut him down. And that is exactly what RLS needs.
Oh my goodness. Action across the map, dude. These teams are out for blood. This is what you love to see.
Yeah,
I'm completely ignoring my shilling, guys. Like, come on, give me the opportunity to talk to you about our very, very cool magazine, the FOF Connect, where you can find out stats and information and interviews with these players about how they felt going into this game. But I mean, man, what a showing from both teams.
Yeah, indeed. Good job from War Leader. Finding some usage out of his ultimate there. Managing to clean that one up, playing chicken with Utility Monster in the auto attack battle. And so he will be looking pretty strong now. 4-1 now. I think that the next target has got to be the 400 gold bounty on Freelancer's head.
Yeah, I mean, credit to YUBI. Their bottom side push has been absolutely relentless and extremely dominant. Although Kiri starting to flex their muscles up in the top side. You start to see, once those components come in, Ornn starts to really struggle. Yeah,
but look at the stun onto Tephra here. Dark Matter does it. Jeff Godgamer finishing off the kill for YUBI, and that's just going to be critical misstep from RLS. Now YUBI, they're wide open to try to finish off this turret here, try to collect the first turret bonus, and of course, pre-14 minutes, that is a lot of gold counting plates.
Yeah, but you can see Ornn starting to struggle here. Oh my goodness, there's just action everywhere, man.
Yeah, Pengu Soul taunted up. The Utility Monster flies in to turn the turret off, puts in some damage onto Pengu Soul, but there's the gold card, stuns Utility Monster, and now it will be Pengu Soul getting that kill, perfectly responded to by RLS, by War Leader. It seems like Utility Monster's getting beaten every punch.
Yeah, look at that stopwatch. Just became unlocked. Benefit of going the inspiration tree. Pengu Soul smartly taking the unsealed spellbook this game means that they have access to prevent a single dive in the early stages of the game, and that is exactly what they needed to maintain pressure in this top side of the map. And I have to say, RLS's top side is playing extraordinarily well to keep them in this game with how much of a disaster this bottom side has been.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd say that Ashe is one of the best AD carries you can play from behind. No matter what, you're still an ult on a stick. You can still stun somebody for at least 1 second. So there's a lot of hope for RLS going forward in this game. Yeah, Freelance is pretty fed. Yeah, he's going to try to run down Pengu's Soul right here, and he will probably do so pretty effectively.
Holy.
That's just going to be an easy kill coming straight on in. Nothing else committed for the side of YUBI, and Pengu's Soul going to be punished for stepping up too far.
Yeah, I mean, this Vygar baby cage is a massive problem for the composition of RLS. They all have, mostly mid-range characters who sort of have to stand within cage range in order to be effective. And you saw right there, just landing the cage around a character makes it very easy to follow up with a Senna W. And when you're this accelerated on Vygar, you only need a couple abilities to really just, 100-0 a character.
Yeah.
And, again, speaking about, compositional difficulties, how do they kill this Vygar? War Leader needs to come up with a way to stop this, or it's going to become a massive problem. I like the arrow attempt, but it's just going to go completely wide.
Yeah, that was a Hail Mary for sure. Good try there. Vygar still has the cleanse, though, to keep him safe, and, I really do agree with you. How do you ever get on and kill this Vygar through all of the CC, through the Gallia, through just the front line of tanks? It's going to be incredibly hard. I think that RLS might just have to say, we can't do it, play the macro game, flex their Mordekaiser some more, have the TF in the side lanes as well. It's a tall order. It's a tall order for sure.
Yeah, and, seeing a split-pushing team is not something that we've seen very often in FOF's history, at least in this current season. We've seen a couple of characters occasionally pick up the Hullbreaker. We've seen Hullbreaker Scion a couple times. We've seen things like a side laning Camille and a side laning Dr. Mundo every now and then. But I think RLS has an opportunity here because Kieri is reasonably powerful and doesn't have a good character to match. They have an opportunity to perhaps turn things around, but they cannot fight 5v5s right now.
Yeah, oh, here come the global ultimates, though. TF porting in. Gonna try to find something. It's gonna be Pengu Soul that's stunned up, though. Walking straight to the waiting arms of Utility Monster. He will get dropped, and now War Leader is the next target of the UB squad. They're gonna take him down as well. Hefra and RLS escape. Last two people alive. UB's free to push the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is exactly why these 5v5
Utility Monster's walking up behind Kieri here. Hold that thought. The Bear's charging at you. Stunned up. Gallia ult for extra good measure. Kieri with a very nice E backwards. The shield to try to walk away, but it's going to be the Everfrost, Zivolock's favorite item that seals the deal.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, Ultravox. I think that this game might be already closed out for YUBI. They've rapidly accelerated their gold lead up to about 6,000 in the last several minutes. We've already identified that they don't have a great way to attack this Vygar pick. And on top of that, they just don't have the money to take a full 5-on-5 fight. We saw that in the mid lane. When you have a 4v4 and you've got a couple of bruisers, you got like a Galio and a Volibear smashing face into like a Thresh and a Nocturne. When you are up the gold, when you're up the levels, the Volibear and Galio are going to win every single time. So RLS needs to adapt to the situation. They need to think creatively and come up with a plan, perhaps finding picks, perhaps split pushing in the side lanes, that's going to give them an opportunity back into this game, because just playing their standard way is not it, Chief.
Yeah. We keep talking about the side lane too, but we've yet to address the Anathema's chains on red. That really goes a long way towards stuffing the Mordekaiser's ability to side lane. When you just get your damage reduced, it just points at you and says, you no longer do things. So I think that will make the side lane plan much, much harder for Kieri and for RLS as a whole.
Yeah, and smart itemization from Red as well, because he knows that his team is strong enough now that even though going into this game he was planning on playing like a team fighting Ornn, he actually doesn't need to do that anymore. Freelancer has a death cap, and he's had a death cap since like minute 16. 2 item complete Vigar, a heck of a lot of stats on that character, 543 ability power this stage in the game, and no magic resist yet really built on the side of RLS. Yeah, they got some booties, but like that is not going to be enough against this much damage. And look, they're trying to attack these side lanes, but no ultimate going to be found on red.
Yeah, the paranoia committed, but nothing to be found after that. That's a huge L for RLS to have used that without finding anything. Things are looking grim indeed. Yeah, like we said, Vigard, an enormous amount of AP, not only destroying the characters, but will be able to destroy the turrets if they're able to walk up to them. Gonna get rooted out by the Everfrost, though. And this fight starting a little bit interestingly. YUBI, Galio ultimates to clear themselves out of there, and they're starting to reset their positioning. They want to continue pushing this wave. At least they had a get out of jail free button there. And now they're looking towards the dragon, trying to get some more vision, getting ready to start it up.
Yeah, and YUBI, one of the best teams in the league for setting up these objectives. Look at the vision control around this objective. It is just incredibly difficult for RLS to even step inside. That's why they tried to make the top side play that failed. They recognized that they weren't going to be able to contest this dragon, and they smartly decided to give it up and not throw away even more of the game. So I really appreciate RLS's tenacity and decision making to not go for that, because I think weaker teams in a desperate situation like this would have caved, would have tried to face the straight 5v5 that would instantly lose them the game.
Yeah, hard agree. And it's starting to get really scary. You see that they have 2 dragons on the board. You don't want them to get to the pre-soul point. And now next dragon is actually the soul point, so it's going to be do or die. That's the time when you really have your back up against the wall and you have to just throw everything at it. So RLS on a 5-minute clock, I'd say.
Yeah, and YUBI so far ahead as well that they can afford luxury items at this stage in the game. Utility Monster purchased the Quicksilver Sash already on Volibear because he has the money to do so and is reasonably confident that, as long as he can dodge a single stun, he can continue to walk in and snowball. Galio as well, Civillock looks to be completing the Banshee's Veil relatively soon to, again, ignore a single point of crowd control. And that's just going to make it incredibly hard because RLS needs to find either picks or side lane pressure, and it's hard to find side lane pressure when you're behind and can't shove out these waves, and it's even harder to find picks when your characters have items that completely counter them.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at your Ashe ultimate and your TF gold card as being your main ways to engage, besides the Nocturne just going in straight onto somebody, and Banshee's Veil is going to do a fantastic job versus that. Quicksilver Sash is going to completely nullify those and get you out of the Mordekaiser Death Realm. So super good itemization from the YUBI. They know a lot about that from their worship of Lolalytics. So love to see it there. Taking some recalls now, and I think they're going to want to put some pressure onto Baron, secure some more vision, really choke RLS out and put the hurt on him for being so behind right now.
Yeah, now I will say RLS does have, a couple of ways into this game. I just find them very unlikely. It's possible, because Freelancer is such a huge portion of damage for this team, if they can land that hook, find the mystical arrow that weaves its way through the enemy characters, and slams Freelancer before he gets started, it is possible that they win this team fight, but it is so hard, and YUBI, as you say, doing everything that they can to stuff out the game quickly. This is something that they are known for being able to do, is just like lock down a game that they're already ahead. Look at the vision control, just shift all that vision immediately from the bottom side up into the top side, and once again bait RLS to fight at this Baron.
Yeah, this is exactly what you need to be doing. If you're YUBI, you make RLS scared to walk through your jungle. RLS, though, seems relatively undeterred. They're just going to come straight on in and try to contest this Baron. There's the stun coming in onto Civillock here. He will get stunned up for a very long time, and War Leader's going to be going straight on into Jeff Godgamer. Donnie Shadow, though, will do a lot to keep YUBI alive and take down War Leader. Escape on the backside, trying their best to kite it out, but will get knocked up by Red. On the other side of the fight, YUBI's just completely completely cleaning up, and it's going to be a very clean ace for YUBI, now with their sights set on the Purple Worm, looking to close out this game very fast.
And accelerating to a 10,000 gold lead, Ultravox. If this is not a statement, I don't know what is. YUBI coming in with force. They are here to prove why they were the #1 seed in this league, why they were Season 4 FOF champions. It's this decisive, critical decision-making around these key objectives, knowing how to play to their strengths as a 5v5 team fighting composition. And really, I just don't see a way back in for RLS. At this point, I think you start thinking about the next game.
Yeah, and honestly, who can blame him? And what are you going to do for the next game? Are we going to ban Vigar? Is that going to be the play? I think could be a feasible option for the next draft. Seems like Freelancer is very proficient. And, big props to Jeff for saying, you can be the farming Vigar. You can be the carry here, and I will be fasting Senna. Fantastic adaptation to their players' strengths, like you were saying. So big props to YUBI for that. But it's going to be a TP in. Kiri trying to join the fight. It's War Leader who's stunned up. Kiri immediately as well on drop it in. There comes the paranoia. We're just waiting for the opportunity, and it will start to pass, but a hook lands onto Utility Monster. A lot of damage coming in. They will try to pick him off. The Ornhorn comes in, knocks up, escape. He will be the first to fall, as it's all of YUBI trying to take down RLS. It's an Everfrost that locks down Pengu's Soul next. Clovis Civilak trying to get down the damage. Red and Freelancer also knocking at Tefra. Pretty tanky for us support, but finally they'll take him down. And it will be another super clean team fight from YUBI, continuing their tour de force towards RLS's Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just a bit of a slaughter, Ultravox. It's so incredibly difficult when you are behind against like a really powerful front line like YUBI has to even attempt to find the fight. And you can see RLS is doing absolutely everything that they can to put things together. They're looking for those picks onto those carries, trying to find the Ash Arrow onto Freelancer in the choke, just barely missing it. Trying to find that entrance points for Nocturne's Paranoia, but at the end of the day, they're just getting, gold checked at this point. Like, they just can't do enough damage in time to salvage these fights.
Yeah, it's just so hard when Ash, your consistent damage dealer, not even on the second item yet. It's so hard to chew through these frontline tanks, the likes of Ornn and Volibear, and now YUBI taking down the bot lane inhibitor, the second inhibitor they've gotten so far. They're free to take a reset with the Baron empowered recalls, spend all their hard-earned money, and set their sights on the top lane. The one final point, the one thing that RLS has left standing. Try to finally finish out this game.
Yeah, RLS looking for a miracle. I don't think it's happening in this game. But I do think that we've learned some interesting things, right? One thing that we learned in this game is that Kiri Alexion's Mordekaiser, pretty solid, right? Like,
yeah,
did pretty solid in the laning phase. Managed to play quite well into red, one of the better top laners in the regular season. And could be a strength and an asset moving forward into this series. I think that we have also learned that this Vigar is a threat and should probably be banned if RLS wants to continue to play these sort of, engage-heavy, aggressive junglers like the Nocturne and the Diana, who get completely stuffed from the Vigar. I'd like to see RLS maybe pivot strategies a little bit and find something that is a little bit more resilient into the mid to late game.
Yeah, definitely would like to see that. Now, Freelancer looking for a cage here. Will not be able to find it, and it's, again, the defense, the last few structures that RLS has. Jeff God Gamer and Freelancer tearing them down with their auto attacks. Now YUBI's moving on forward. Few members of RLS have to answer the waves. They cannot let these through here. Cage comes out, zones the rest of RLS off of the turret, will not let them clear the wave. It will just be slow but inevitable. Utility Monster making it not so slow here, as he's just going to turn off the turret. Zivalok dives straight on into him as well, and they're just moving forward. They cannot be stopped. It's YUBI taking down all of RLS. Jeff God Gamer having himself a triple kill. Utility Monster driving Tefra out of his own base. and it's just a matter of time before the Nexus turrets fall. YUBI truly showing what a good team they are, why they've made it so far in this tournament. Last Nexus turret will fall. YUBI doesn't want to finish off the game quite yet. They see one more kill to play around with here. Blast Cone goes over. Tefra has the play away, but he will flash as well, trying his best to get out of there. Looks like it's Freelancer and the minions to finish off the game.
Yeah, extremely dominant performance from YUBI. This is sort of the kind of form that we expected them to be in. Going into the playoffs, they looked like they had a very dominant playoff season, or excuse me, regular season, ending with only a few losses here or there, and a couple of them due to weird drafts and a couple of experiments going on. But when they are on their main characters, playing their established style, this team looks almost unstoppable. I cannot wait to see what RLS is going to do. They're backed into the corner, but I've seen them win these. They took Rex to Game 5 in an incredible final last season. They've been backed into corners before, and they've come out swinging. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to bring into us in the next game.
Absolutely. Match point. Everything's on the line for both these teams. RLS has got to stay in, and YUBI wants to close it out. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back.